Let's select the food and food hints lists instead. And I'm just going to keep going back to the insert menu and keep clicking on gadget. And this time I'm going to move up to, it's called the word study gadget. When I add this, we see that I have a few more options. I'm going to leave this at the default options, and the options that are important are guest style here and hint source here. So I'm going to hit apply and close, and we'll see what we get. What we get, if I open this window so we can see the whole thing, is a word game where I get to drag the letters around in changing the order so that I can spell the word correctly. So my hints actually come from a Google image search of the word pizza that the gadget does automatically for me. There's no programming needed here. The gadget does all the work. It's really neat. So I'm going to drag the letters into the correct order, and as I do, each letter that's in the correct slot shows green, and once I have all of them in the correct slot, it gives me my feedback, tells me I'm correct, and I can go on to the next one. So here I get my hints, and I have sushi, and so on and so forth. Now if I go back to edit, I can choose other types of hints. So if I wanted to use the hints that I typed into the second column, I would click on hint source second column, apply and close, and now I get the hint crust that I chose for the word pizza. One more type of hint, and that is a translation. So if I wanted to translate this, say, from English to French, I could hit apply and close. Now I get the French word for cat as my hint automatically. And if I keep going, I get the French word for dog and the French word for mouse, and so on and so forth. And again, you're not programming in these hints. The computer is looking them up online as we go through this automatically. It's pretty amazing. There's a couple of other games that we can play with this. So I'm going to leave the hint source on translation, and I'm going to choose multiple choice. And instead of this drag and drop word game, we still get the hint in French, but we have the guest choosing 3 options from your word list. So obviously, the larger your word list, the more options you're going to get for red herrings, if you will. If you get the wrong answer, it'll tell you keep trying until, of course, you get the right answer. And there's one more word game, and this might be appropriate for older students, and that's the type in. So when we hit apply and close, now it gives me my hints, and I have to type the correct answer. So I know that cheval in French is horse, and if I type in horse and spell it correctly, it tells me that I'm correct and I can move on to the next one. If I go back to edit, one more useful feature is the ability to randomize the words so students don't learn the words based on patterns. I'm going to show you one more gadget, and this is one of my favorite ones. And now I'm going to pick the food list. I'm going to insert my gadget, and I'm going to choose the word search gadget. I'm going to click Add to Spreadsheet, and here I have the ability to choose the number of rows and columns in my word search, essentially how big it is. And I'm just going to leave it at the default of 10 rows and 10 columns and hit Apply and Close. In short order, I get an interactive word search generated. And watch what happens when I try and find a word. Let's see. I see the word pizza. As I click and drag across it, it actually highlights the letters for me. And if I'm wrong, then the highlight goes away. But if I drag over the entire word and let go, it recognizes that word is in the word list to the right and actually crosses it off of the list for me and leaves it highlighted. Again, pretty awesome interactive game. Now, these games, the great thing about them is that they're useful for one-on-one computer interactions. They're useful for small groups. You can use them with a projector in your classroom, and they're amazingly well suited for smartboards. So you can pretty much use them anywhere. So what you can do, just again by clicking on this downward arrow, is you can move this gadget to its very own sheet where you can't see the data that the gadget was created from. Just click Move to Own Sheet, and now it's on its very own sheet. Actually, I'm just going to go back to the completed list again. I'm going to create the gadget once more, and I'm going to show you possibly my favorite thing to do, and that is to publish this word search to or any of these tools to a website so that my students can actually log on from home and practice their vocabulary. So again, I just click Add to Spreadsheet, Apply and Close. And now that I have my gadget and I'm happy with it, I'm going to click the downward arrow, and at the top we see the menu item Publish Gadget. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and it gives me a code. Now this code is gobbledygook, and you don't have to understand it, but all you need to do is drag your mouse across it, go Edit, Copy, and then close that. And then you can paste that into any web design program that allows you to embed scripts onto a web page and publish it up to the internet for your kids to view. Now, just to show you how easy this is, I'm going to use Apple's iWeb in conjunction with their Mobile Me service, create a web page, and paste this game to the web page and publish it to the internet, all within about 3 minutes. So here we go. I'm going to open up iWeb. I'm going to choose a page style. And there we go. So this is right out of the program. This is a template, and I haven't created anything here. So I'm going to change the text and call it Welcome to My Word Games. I'm going to change a couple of options here. And I'm going to delete the site text here and change this to read this week's word search. Now I'm going to go to the web widget button down here. I'm going to click the HTML snippet option, and I'm just going to click and paste in that code that I copied right out of Google Docs. Click the Apply button, and it takes that word search and throws it onto your web page. I'm just going to drag it down just like that. And once I'm happy with the placement, I'm going to save it. Earlier, I went onto the web and I found myself some word search pictures. So I'm just going to go up, grab those word search pictures, and I'm going to drop them onto this web page, just like that. Maybe I like this one better here. Yeah. And this one better here. There we go. Okay. Now that I'm happy with that, I'm going to save it again. There we go. Click the Publish button, and it's going to log in and publish it onto the internet for me. It creates the page, and once it's done that, it's going to give me a little pie up in the top corner here beside the page marked Welcome. And as that fills up, it's uploading it to the net. Once it's finished, it's going to tell me that my page has been published and give me a link that I can give out to my students or my parents so they can practice. There we go. Your site has been published. I can click the Visit Site Now button, and it'll actually open up my web browser and take me to the website I just created. Here we go. Welcome to my word games. And it loads up with this week's word search. And lo and behold, it's completely interactive. There's the word moussaka. And just like before, it crosses it off the list. Well, that's all I have to show you today. I hope that you're excited about these tools built into Google Docs, as I am, and I hope that you'll find new and exciting ways to use them in your classroom.